welcome to the Degenerate Gamblers College Basketball, baby. I'm with my man, Steve Valente. We're going to talk a little bit about last weekend, what worked, what didn't. We had some good games. We banked some fatties, and we lost a couple at the buzzer. And then we're going to talk about the just monstrous slate tonight. Tonight's like a Saturday. It's
huge.
I went down. I just couldn't believe some of these games. But look, let's talk about last weekend. I mean, I'll be honest. I was crushing it up until Iowa State lost at home. I mean, that one, I had a money line. They lost at home to Texas Tech.
Yep. Oh, no, that was Houston.
Oh, Houston. What did I say?
You said Iowa State, but yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I was trying to think back in my brain because we were going back and forth on text. Like, I need Houston money line to cash a, what was it, like 7-teamer or something
Houston
like that?
money line. That's what I had. Yeah, Houston money line. And
Yeah.
they lost at home to Texas Tech.
Texas Tech is undefeated on the road this year, Howie.
Texas Tech has not lost on the road this year, along with three other teams.
Duke. Mount St. Mary. No, St. Mary's.
St. Mary's, Texas
St. Mary's,
Tech.
Duke, Texas Tech, and there's a fourth.
Houston.
Who the heck? Houston.
Houston has not lost on the road.
On the road.
Those are
Couldn't
four
get
teams.
it done at home for you, those sons of guns.
Yeah, I don't think they lost since like fucking Jimmy Carter was in office, but
R.I.P.
Yeah, that's right. How about this? How about a cool story? I'm walking down 6th Avenue like 3 years ago, and I'm just walking, drinking some coffee. I look to my left, and it looked like a South Park episode. There was this guy's face up against the windshield, like this, and I looked at him, and it was like 4 Cadillac Escalades in a row, and it was Jimmy Carter. I'm like, holy shit, that's Jimmy Carter, and he looks every bit of 100.
On all of 100.
Yeah.
Like coming to America. You ain't never met no Martin Luther the King. You ain't never met Jimmy Carter. Yes, I was. Face was on it, pinned up against an Escalade in New York City.
Dude, it was Jimmy Carter, man.
Jimmy Carter.
New York, where I live in New York, you see every day, you see some of the wildest. Like, I would go running. I'd go lift and go running, and it got to a point where once a week, I'd run into Hugh Jackman, and he would be like, hey, what's up, buddy? I'd be like, yeah, keep hitting it, buddy. Keep hitting it, Hugh. He's one of the few actors I've seen he's huge. He's a monster. He's a big dude in real life. He'd kick my ass. Big guy. Where it's like, 90% of these other guys are 5'4", 60 pounds. But anyway.
Speaking of ass kickings, Howie, what about that Duke Carolina game, huh?
Oh!
I think we called that one.
I texted you when the score was like 48-0. And I was like, man, Carolina really came out to play tonight.
Didn't even show up. And we knew we said it last week. They didn't have an answer to Cooper Flag, but they didn't have an answer for anybody on that team.
They just,
what was Duke's averaging 6'8" for their starting five? We averaged 6'2".
That was
Carolina.
It was brutal.
Brutal.
Although I did have them in that parlay with Houston plus 20.5, and they covered that. They came back and covered it.
Yeah, they did. They lost by 17. They almost covered the 13.5. They got close. They got it to 14, and then just couldn't get any closer than that. But it was an ugly, ugly showing for the Tar Heels. Hubert Davis has got some stuff to figure out.
I'd say the game of the day where I got more. And by the way, if you're watching this, you like it, hit the like button, follow at Howie Dewey on YouTube. Join the Discord. Go to Whop.com. Join the Degenerate Gamblers. I'm going to talk about why this next game, Saturday, I'm getting hit up on the Discord by guys all over the country, and they're like, dude, why do you like Tennessee? Tennessee's missing their two. Because right before the game, it comes out, the little guard from New York, he's out.
Ziegler,
and then kid from overseas, a 6'11" kid, he's out. And I wrote this in the Discord. I said, guys, if you come from a coaching background, the scariest team to play is a team that loses the first time back. They don't have their best player, their two best players, because, man, they're up for it. The other team's like, hey, you know what? This may not be as difficult as we thought it was going to be. And, man, that's what happened because Tennessee rolled them.
20, won by 20. I mean, held them to 44 points, Howie. We talked about it a week or two ago with them holding Auburn to 53, but 44 points, I mean, that's some stifling D.
And Rick Barnes, we trust. I mean, I told the guys in the Discord, I said, I'm not changing my bet. No. I said, that's what Vegas, because the line went from like 4.5, minus 4.5, and at game time, it was minus 1.5.
Yep.
And I said, no, take them. Take Tennessee in the money. They're going to win this game. And second half, crowd got into it. Florida couldn't put the ball. The player, what's his name, twisted his ankle. Things just went bad.
Yeah.
So that was a game that, we nailed. Try to think of some other games this weekend that were solid.
Man, the Johnnies were up 20.
Oh,
left
God!
Providence right back into that one. The one at the buzzer, Kadari Richmond, that we spoke about him too.
Yeah, he saved him.
Saved him. But Howie, I'm at work. I'm watching, just as I go by, watching the score. They're up 17, 18. I'm going, oh, they're going to roll.
They were up 17 with about 6 minutes to go.
6 minutes to go. Guy goes, oh, Johnny's just hit a buzzer beater to win it. I go, what? What? How the?
Yeah. That was one. And again, if you're watching this, look, if you got a team that's up 9, 10, 11 points above the spread, second half, hedge. Take the other team. You have to. You got to hedge. I mean, and I've seen more this year than any other year.
You middled one this weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, we middled a couple.
I would just specifically remember you saying you had a team at like -1 and then took the other team at plus 13.5 or something.
Yeah, we middled, and I'm actually pulling up the Discord last night. We middled. Tell you the game right now, man. There was so many games. What was the game? I don't know. I can't find it. There's so many games we bet. We bet Princeton, Siena. Of course, I bet against Siena. Here's one. I bet against Siena on Sunday.
Yep.
They're playing Marist. Marist has them down 15.
Marist was Friday night. Quinnipiac was Sunday.
Quinnipiac.
Yeah.
We took Siena. Quinnipiac's up like 15, 16. You got a middle because what's Siena do? Siena scores the next like 34 in a row and comes back and wins the game.
Yeah, wins the game by 6 or something like that.
So, I mean, you're seeing just a lot of this bizarre stuff. You're seeing teams come way back.
Yeah. How about friggin' Cal going to Rupp Arena and slapping the shit out of Kentucky Saturday night?
So, we said it. You and I said it. The scary thing is you can't, and again, we got a situation tonight. Lamont Butler's not playing.
Right.
Kentucky's a different team without Lamont Butler.
You said it.
Arkansas's guards just annihilated them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the first 5 minutes of this game, that was a shooting clinic. Both teams were coming down and just burying 25-footer after 25-footer, back and forth, back and forth. That was a high-level game.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, has Arkansas turned the corner? Are they going to go on a roll now? Because they look like a different team.
Those are the games that can make that move, Those are the games like Carolina 2 years ago when they made the run of the NCAA finals. It's like they beat Duke, and then once they beat Duke, everything kind of started to snowball. They kind of figured out where they were lacking. And you got a guy like Cal. He's been there, done that with multiple programs. Yeah. This is his 4th program that he's probably going to make a run to the Final Four with at some point.
I mean, they have the talent, put it that way.
Sure.
That team has the talent.
We said it. We said they stole 4 guys from Kentucky that were 5 stars, right there.
And that freshman guard from New York's one of the best freshman guards in the country. It's the only other guy I like as good or better as the kid from Auburn from Jersey City. Saturday was complete wildness, and I went light. I'm glad I went light because I lost a couple games close. Then we go into like last night. And I'll tell you right now, Iowa State got spanked in Kansas. They have injuries. They're hurt.
Yeah.
Until they get healthy, I wouldn't mess with them. Kansas, on the other hand, starting to look a little better. Mm-hmm. Another team that's starting to look at. And, here's something for you. They're saying now that the SEC has a chance to get in 13 teams into the NCAA tournament. They're saying the Big 12, 7 or 8. That's those two conferences. That's 33% of the whole tournament.
The tournament.
Two
Unreal.
conferences.
Yeah. But honestly, that's where it's at right now, is those two conferences. I mean, ACC, what do you got? What do you got after Duke? I mean, you got a couple of stretches. You got Wake. You got Clemson.
Clemson's won their last 10 out of 11.
Yep.
Covered last 5 out of 6. But you just said it. That's it.
Yeah, that's probably about
You
it.
got Wake, Clemson, Duke, and then, unless somebody like an NC State.
NC State, Carolina, that they have to win the ACC tournament.
You got to win out.
Yeah.
You got to win out. So, the Big East, I'm calling it now. I think they're undervalued. I think the Big East has probably 3-4 teams that could make a run. St. John's, I think we got them at plus 4,000, plus 5. They're down to like plus 3,000.
Yep.
You can grab St. John's right now at plus 800 to make the Final Four. You can grab it plus 800 to make the Final Four. I think that's a pretty good bet.
Yeah.
They have good players. You can say what you want. Rick
Good
Pitino's
guard
the best.
play, like you said.
Yeah, Rick Pitino's the best coach in that. I mean, that guy
Unbelievable.
can coach anybody.
Coach a bitty basketball team to
They're going to win. He just gets kids to play for. He's a motivator.
Yeah, 100%. They got Marquette tonight. Marquette's coming off a tough one against UConn, which
I did not see that one coming.
No, especially at Marquette.
No.
Again, but that's that UConn team. They have the talent, they just haven't put it together. Another team, kind of like Arkansas, same deal, right?
Yeah.
So you just don't know when the bright lights are on. Are they gonna step up?
And UConn, they've been beat up. They got guys who've been hurt the whole year. So if they could get healthy, I mean, who knows? I think the Big East tournament's going to be very interesting. You got teams that could run it out. Villanova can beat anyone on any given night. Creighton can beat any. Xavier is solid. Xavier can beat anybody in the country on any given night. Butler's good.
Right. They got good coaching. That's another thing. You've got the Sean Millers back in the Big East. You got Thad Matta. You got these big names that have taken programs far in the tournament, and they're all in the Big East. They're there.
I'll tell you the game I did like the other night. I don't know if we talked about it, but Arizona State was beating Arizona.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Arizona went on a roll.
Yep.
And they didn't just beat them. They verbally, Bobby Hurley after the game.
Bobby Hurley was sour grapes. He said Caleb Love. He wouldn't mention his name. Wouldn't say his name, but said, I'm not voting for him for player of the week.
He goes, I got to vote in this league. And you know who I'm not voting for?
Yeah.
There's a player on Arizona. He was pissed. I mean, I will say this. If you watch that game, the Arizona was yapping too much for a college game. They were.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
They were yapping. He was pissed. Arizona's team's playing well right now, though. They're playing really well. It's a West Coast team. I would say probably the best out there right now. The best West Coast team.
Gonzaga's up there, but they're not the team that they've been in years past.
St. Mary's, and that's what I called. I did have St. Mary's beating Gonzaga Saturday night late. Bunch of guys in Discord, we all got on board and took them.
Yep. But they got to know, Howie. Get on the Discord. Pay the $25 a month. Get on.
Yeah, you're gonna have Steve Valenti's on there. We finally, with our tech skills, we got his name on there. He's gonna be laying down bets. Steve is, and we may be on different sides sometimes. That happens. You never know.
Yep.
But he's gonna be dishing out bets, and we have pretty good reasons. We have pretty good track record. So I look forward. I think we're gonna bank some fatties going into this tournament. But let's get into tonight, because tonight's Tuesday night. And there's no gray area. This is the best Tuesday night slate this year.
Super Tuesday.
This is crazy tonight. I mean, we start off at 6:30, and there's a weird game that I like, and I like it just because of the shadiness involved. You got Kent State -7 at Eastern Michigan, the Point Shaven
University.
Yes, and Eastern Michigan is +7 at home. I mean, if you're ever going to take a money line, the whole country's going to be watching this game, so you know they're going to play hard. They're not going to be dribbling the ball with their foot tonight.
Yep.
So I like Eastern Michigan a little bit, but then we get right into it, man. You got 6:30, arguably the best game of the night. Marquette +3 at St. John's. My own opinion, Steve, I just don't see how you can bet Marquette. I know they're coming off a loss, but they're playing at St. John's.
Right.
And I got a funny feeling over the past 3 days, Rick Pitino's like, guys, you cannot let up like that.
No.
But when I say let
you
up,
got to finish.
No, Providence had a kid. What's his name? Shakur Rahim. His father played in the NBA, played in California. Father was a great player from Atlanta. But this kid, when I say didn't miss, I saw him hit seven.
His uncle, Abdul Rahim.
Yeah, that was his father.
Sharif Abdul Rahim. Yeah, and then his uncle just passed away.
Yes.
He was a coach down in South Florida. Yeah, yep. He was lights out. Like I said, I wasn't actually watching the game. I was just kind of following it.
This kid didn't miss. I mean, he was hitting. He was coming down, just pulling up from 30, and just drilling shots left and right. Everything he did was going in for like 6 minutes in a row. But I think Pitino's figured it out. I like St. John's at home -3, Steve.
Howie, I'm with you here. I love the way Pitino's got these boys playing. Again, those close games, those tight games, we're not going to really remember that they were up 17. We're just going to remember they won the game, right?
Yeah. And you want to see two teams play defense. I mean, Shaka Smart, all they do is pick up full court and press. St. John's does the same thing. This is going to be a fun game to watch. But I do like St. John's -3. And then we get right into it. It's 7 o'clock. This is a game. You have Purdue going to Iowa. Purdue's -7.5. And people are like, why are they -7.5? They're playing at Iowa. Well, Iowa's best player, 6'10", Owen Freeman, he's not playing. He's out. He's hurt. It's going to be tough. Now, if there's ever a guy that could pull an upset, it is our old Siena coach, Freddie McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Look for him to punch a player from Purdue in the face because he's a psycho.
Howie, if we're going on the number, though, they stink this year. They're 1-5 in their last 6 as a dog. It's 4-6 at home.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm staying away from the game, not touch it, but I can see why you bet Purdue.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, I don't know.
Owen Freeman's not playing.
6.5, yeah. Your best player's out.
He's a 2010 guy.
Big Ten game. Purdue coming off back-to-back wins against Michigan and Indiana. Neither of them, they blew out Michigan. Indiana did keep it close in Purdue on Saturday. But, damn, I don't know.
Yeah, it's, you could have the philosophy their best players out. Maybe they'll come together and they'll pull a Tennessee. Problem is Iowa's not known for their defense.
Right, 100%.
They give up 100. They win 107 to 101.
Listen, this Purdue team doesn't let off the gas either. They go. Guards, everybody, they're going. They're pushing.
Yeah, I'm staying away, but I can see why you would take Purdue. Another game right here. You got another team on the bubble. Virginia Commonwealth won by about 75 Saturday against their arch rivals Richmond. That game was like 48-7 to start.
We did talk about that one.
But they're playing home tonight against LaSalle. Usually these two teams play tough, but the line's -19.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like the game. I can see LaSalle losing by 17. So I just. I like VCU. I like the way they play. I don't like this line. I think it's a little too high. I'm not.
Where are you seeing? What you saw? 17.
Yeah, I saw 17.
Yeah,
wait a second. 19.
Up to 19.
I saw 19.
19. DraftKings got 19. FanDuel's got it at 18.5. Bet Rivers, same thing. But jeez,
it's a lot of points.
No, that's a ton of points. In a conference game, LaSalle was a program that was absolutely abysmal. They turned that around pretty quick. Who the hell's their coach? I'm trying to look at.
Used to be Speedy Morris. I don't know, man. They go through a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
That was a tough Philly program, man. They've had good players.
Fran Dunphy.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I went to school with his nephew.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
Yeah, good coach. He's been around the block. He's almost 80 years old, though.
Yeah,
so I think he's going to have to turn it over sometime soon. But he definitely turned LaSalle around because they stunk. Then
we got 7 o'clock, a bunch of games. We got Kentucky visiting Mississippi.
Yep.
Mississippi's – we know Lamont Butler's out. But we got to wait and see. Mississippi, their guard, Matt Murrell, one of their best guards, he's questionable. So – if he's out, this could be a 1-2 point game.
They lost again. They lost by 10 to Auburn. I mean, it's a tough stretch anyway you go through that SEC slate.
Yeah.
But this game, Ole Miss is giving points. They're giving 4.5 here at home. 5 on some boards. You could
5.5. I got right here on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Or I don't know where I saw it, but yeah, Lamont Butler's out. Kentucky's plus 5.5. I can't bet this game. I can't bet Kentucky without Lamont Butler. He's the glue. I mean, it's pretty noticeable. So do you like anyone that game?
You know what? That would be a stay away for me now.
Yeah, me too.
Honestly, if I probably were to play it, it would be Ole Miss at home. You know, they're laying that number. You know, you would think a Kentucky team ranked higher, Ole Miss kind of struggling their last 4 out of the 5 games, losing, and they're laying 4.5 at home. So Vegas knows something that we don't.
Yeah. Then we got Minnesota at Penn State plus 7.5. Puff Johnson, guard for Penn State, questionable. He's been out for the last few games. His hand's messed up.
Ex-Tar Heel.
Yeah. But Minnesota plus 7.5. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on Minnesota as the dog. Penn State's not playing well. They're just not playing well. In Minnesota, they seem to play everybody tough.
Yeah, no, they definitely play tough. Not great against the number on the road, but this number they're probably not used to getting 7.5 points on the road either. So
and they're not playing a powerhouse. Penn State's very average.
Yeah, very average. Shrewsbury there, or no, he went to Notre Dame. Who the hell's the Penn State coach now? Man, Shrewsbury left and went to Notre Dame.
Yeah, and then somebody else. I think Virginia Commonwealth coaches at Penn State. I think the VCU coach.
Yeah. They're not playing great right now. They're losers of 4 out of their last 5. They did cover though. They've been covering the number, but they've been dogs. They've been dogs in most of those games. So this is another tough one. Once you get to these conference games where people are fighting for position, Minnesota's playing decent. They're tough games to gauge. So if you're getting a little over a touchdown, you might want to take it in basketball.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of points
in
this game. Next game, I have circled. I have 2 games tonight circled. When I have a game circled, that means I'm backing up the truck, and I'm teetering on divorce. I'm really teetering on if 1 or 2 of these games doesn't hit, I'll be kicked out of this house. So this game is Vanderbilt at Florida. Vanderbilt's plus 10. If you look at them on the road, they went to Oklahoma, who's at the bottom of the SEC. They went to Oklahoma and lost by about 90. I think they lost by 30, but they were done right from the get-go. They're playing a Florida team coming off that horrendous loss to Tennessee. And this game's in Florida. The line is 12. And I've had some of my buddies say that's kind of high.
We can get you 11.5.
Yeah.
DraftKings got 11.5.
Listen. I think this is a great game you're going to be able to hedge on because I see Florida getting out early. I see them pressuring Vanderbilt. A few turnovers here and there. Crowd gets into it. You might see Florida up 17, 18 and a half, and you might see that line go to plus 20, plus 21. What do you do then? You turn around, you grab Vandy, you try to middle that 8-point difference. That's what I'm looking for. I'm all over Florida tonight at home coming off that loss.
You can get a -6 for the first half, too, if you want to put a little bit on that.
I like that, Steve. I like that. I like that. I'll be playing that, and I'll be putting all those plays out on the Discord.
The public's all over Vandy, too, Howie. So
Joe Pub's on Vandy because, listen, to Vandy's credit, this is the best Vandy team they've had in years overall.
Get rid of Jerry Stackhouse, and, there you go. Turn it around. Get a guy in there that can actually coach.
And I have nothing against Vandy. I don't like him in this spot. This specific spot tonight.
I agree. Going on the road, midweek game, it's just
Florida coming off that just brutal beating where he's had his foot in their ass the last couple of days.
Oh, right in their ass.
We lost to them. We
Vandy
beat them by
off
30
a
at home.
30-point win. Vandy lost by 30 to Oklahoma. You had Oklahoma Saturday, right?
Yeah.
That was
Vandy
a big
lost.
one for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. I had a little bit on Oklahoma. I just Vandy's one. I think they're great at home. On the road, they're gonna have a real problem tonight. They're gonna have a problem tonight. So I have that game.
I agree,
circled.
and Todd Golden's definitely put his
Yeah.
penis back in his pants and his foot.
Yes,
up their ass.
yes.
Yep.
No more dick pics, man.
No
He's
more
back
dick
focused
pics,
on
bro.
basketball. I like it. Another game tonight, kind of flying under the radar, and I like it for one reason. You got Notre Dame plus 2.5 playing at Florida State. Notre Dame plus 2.5 at Florida State. Leonard Hamilton just announced he's resigning. He's retiring after this year because he's got. Think about what era are we living in where he's got players suing him because he's not paying them.
He didn't fulfill their NIL agreement. Howie, but think about it. And I know these guys are old. I know Coach K, Roy, James Larrañaga, but Tony Bennett was in his 60s, early 60s, right? Or late 50s?
Yeah.
He resigned. I mean, Mike Bray got pushed out the door. But the ACC has seen a ton of turnover in coaching here lately. And I get it. Leonard Hamilton's 70-something years old. He's probably had enough of this bullshit.
He's probably pay you, kiss my ass.
Yeah, kiss my hair. Yeah.
So I kind of like this game a little bit. I think his team may rally around him tonight. Minus 2.5 is not much, but I'll throw them money line and a couple parlays.
Okay.
I like him at home.
Yeah,
Next
Knowles
game,
play tough the rest of the year. He's done a good job with the program, but they've stunk the last 5 games. They're not looking too good after they beat Georgia Tech. They lost to Cal, Stanford, VTech, and BC, and those are some pretty lowly ACC teams right now. Yeah,
you got Florida State, Notre Dame. They're both probably equally bad.
Yeah. Yep.
But I do like him at home. Next game, Steve, I have this semi-circled. This is my third favorite game of the night.
That's what Todd Golden said, semi. It was only a semi chance.
Todd Golden never had a semi, man. That's why he got hot water.
That way.
If he had a semi, there would have never been a lawsuit.
He was full.
Yeah, who knows what that guy was doing down in Gainesville. But next game, you got Oklahoma State, who lost by, 50 on Saturday. Mm-hmm. They got crushed. They're playing Houston, who just lost at home to Texas Tech. Calvin Sampson, I think he's had a foot in his ass the last couple of days. The line is 22.
It was a big number. I looked at it this morning, and I said to myself, that's a huge number coming off that loss. You got to look at a Houston team that's probably going to take them to the woodshed, right?
I mean, I can see this score being 78-38.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming
locking them down on D.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's
buckets.
missing a guard, Manuel Sharp. He's been hurt the last few games, but it's not going to matter. They have 7 guys that just are beasts. And if you look at the last game, they didn't shoot well. Mm-hmm. Made a couple mistakes. Lost to Texas Tech by 1. I think this game is brutal tonight. I think they put a beat down on Oklahoma State. And I like Houston quite a bit here.
Okay. What about the Drake-Murray State game, Howie? Drake's 20-2 this year, and they're only laying, I know it's on the road, but they're only laying 4.5 to an 11-12 Murray State team. I don't know if you looked at it, but Murray State at home is 3-7 against their number in their last 10. This might be a game where you jump on Drake.
I can't disagree. Drake's one of my favorite mid-major teams in the country this year. Yeah. I liked them when they were, where was it, Hawaii or Bahamas where they playing preseason, when they were like, this team has 4 Division II players starting, and they just thrash teams.
Yeah, those kids are hungry.
That 6'5" guard that they have is one of the best guards in the country, man. He can shoot the 3, and he can come down and yoke it on you.
Yeah. 90% of the public money is on Drake, but only 63% of the bets. So that just shows me that bigger money's coming in, sharper money's coming in on Drake. So I'll lay the points in the Drake game.
I gotta agree with you. I just like that team. I like the coach. I like the team. I can see them running it. That's a team that could get to the 16s if they get in a decent bracket this year. Definitely. Yeah. Next game. This isn't the second game of the night that I have circled. You have Clemson. you have back up the truck because Georgia Tech's coming off a great win Saturday. They beat Louisville at home. They play well in Atlanta. And now they're going to Clemson. Clemson's won their last 9 out of 10.
Yep.
They've covered their last 5 out of 6. They're playing at home. Probably the second best team in the ACC. The line is 12.5. Georgia Tech's going to have a tough time keeping this under 20.
Lay the points. Lay them and take the Tigers. I agree.
I
They're
mean,
playing great.
This is another hedge situation where if Clemson gets up 12, 13 in the first half and that line is 18, 19, 20, you turn around, bet Tech. But Tech's in trouble tonight.
Yeah. No, I agree. I
They
agree.
don't play well on the
It's
road.
a tough spot going on the road. That Sheffline kid in Clemson, I can't stand him. He's like just a guy you want to slap, but he plays hard. He's scrappy. He's leading the team in rebounds at 10 rebounds a game. Yeah, I go with the Tigers. They're much the better team, and they're playing, like you said, way better. 5 out of the last 6 winning.
Yeah.
They're looking good.
Scheffler is one of those kids that when he comes out in the court, you're like, there's no way this kid should be at a fraternity party right now just doing keg stands.
Exactly.
He looks like, he looks like, nothing to, I'm sure he's a good kid, but he looks like he's roofied a couple chicks before in his life. He looks like
week.
that guy.
That guy.
Yeah, but he can play. He can play.
He can play it, yeah.
He can.
Play.
They had a run last year, man. That kid he was part of it.
Yep.
So I like Clemson, 12.5, plus 12.5. I mean, minus 12.5. I'm sorry, minus 12. I think they win big here. I think that's a hedge opportunity during the game. I like that game circle along with Vandy, Florida. Now we get into another game. Look, this tonight's slate is so stacked.
Stacked. It's like my hat.
Yeah.
Gonna be mayor of the stacked titty city.
It is. It's like my ex-wife, completely stacked. Anyways, we got USC going to Chicago, playing Northwestern. Of course, here's the problem, man. Northwestern's missing that what's the guard? Barnhart, whatever. He's out. He's out. He's not playing. Their best guard's out. USC is a team that on the road this year, they beat Nebraska. They beat Illinois. They just beat Michigan State Saturday at home. So
we talked about that game. We thought it would be a game that Michigan State went into L.A. got it done, but they lost by 6.
Yeah. So USC playing at Northwestern. What do you got for a line there?
We can get it at 2.5. I think that's the best I can get it. Yeah, it's 2.5 on all boards right now. So Northwestern's laying 2.5. They're probably, you got that factor, coming out of L.A., midweek game, and they're probably putting that into play because Northwestern has not looked good. Definitely, you lose a guy like Boo Buie, who is just, they're basically everything point guard last year, could score it, could dish it, played tough D.
Yeah, he was a great player. That kid was a one-man wrecking crew. He's from Albany.
He's an Albany kid. Yeah, it's
where is he now?
Batter's brother.
Is he in Europe?
He's on the Knicks. He signed a 2-year, two-way contract with the Knicks. So he's playing in their G League right now.
Good player.
Yeah.
Good player. Yeah, he was fun to watch.
Dickie Hurley coached him.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he coached him at Troy High, and then he went to prep school for a couple years before he went to Northwestern.
Yeah, hell of a player, man. But, yeah, I mean, Northwestern's missing their guard tonight. I think they may be in trouble. I would take USC in the spot, money line.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough spot for Northwestern, especially when you don't have your best scorer.
Yeah, top guard.
Yeah, top guard.
What else you got? You got like any of the later
Auburn.
games?
How about Auburn, Oklahoma at 9:00? So you got Auburn laying 17.5 in this one. Oklahoma coming off a 30-point win.
30-point loss.
Or loss. No, win. Oklahoma won. They beat Vandy by 30 points.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Of course they did.
So, but now they're getting 17.5. So that's just telling me that Vegas loves Auburn. Absolutely loves Auburn. Bruce Pearl is going to try to annihilate.
Yeah, and it's in Auburn. And, if it was at Oklahoma, I'd be like, it's in Auburn. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Porter Moses, another guy that came from a small, mid-major, to a big Power 5 school. You know, these small mid-major coaches are coming into these big universities, and they're doing well with the teams. We see it with Dusty May turning around Michigan pretty quick. You know, they're 16-5, but I just think I think the Tigers are a team that they're going to be there, you know, on that final Monday night. At the end of this season. You know, we know it's chalk. We know they're the odds-on favorites to win it all, but I just think this team they're going to be there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Oklahoma isn't tough tonight. They're tough, and you got the big guys back for Auburn. He looked pretty good the other day.
Yeah, Johnny Broome looked healthy, so I don't think there's any question there.
What about Baylor, Texas Tech?
I was just going to say that one. You know, Texas Tech coming off a huge road win, getting some respect now. Their coach he's got some fire. He's got some fire. Did you see the kid, the what's his name? Toppin kid get ejected out of that game early for kicking a kid in the nuts, but it wasn't like a friggin' Grayson Allen kick in the nuts. He jumped up his leg, kicked him in the nuts.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. But you know, this game, Baylor goes into Kansas Saturday, beats them by 11, right? Or at home. Now you're on the road against Texas Tech. Texas Tech getting some respect. They're 15th or 16th in the nation right now. But they're laying the wood. You know, they're laying 8.5.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points in a conference game. But Baylor's 1-8 on the road.
Yeah, It's
and
not
0-8 as a dog.
It's not a Baylor team that we've seen the last few years either.
No, you lose guys like L.J. Cryer and other guys to the NBA.
And the kid from Duke that transferred there is just not really panning out like I thought he would.
No. Why can't I think of that kid's name right now? It's going to come to me.
So, that's a lot of points. I probably would tend to take Texas Tech at home.
Yeah.
What about Indiana at Wisconsin? Wisconsin laying 9.5.
Look at the under in that game. I know these two teams they've scored it this year, but I don't know. You know, midweek game, Wisconsin going to try to beat them up. 151.5. I would lean towards the under in that one.
It's a big number.
Yeah, big number. And then you got 9.5 Whiskey. I don't know. Are they 9.5 points better than Indiana? Maybe at some points throughout the season, but right now, I don't know.
I mean, if Indiana won that game outright with the money line being plus 340, it wouldn't surprise me.
No, not at all. Especially Mike Woodson, we talked about him last week. He can coach. He hasn't that Bello, the big kid. He was out. So I think he's back. He's a double guy.
They're playing better.
Yeah. But
now does Michigan State lose 2 in a row on the West Coast playing UCLA tonight?
No. They're getting 3.5. Mick Cronin, he's another coach that damn.
I personally think Mick Cronin's out of his mind.
Nuts.
I think he's insane.
Insane.
The shit that comes out of his mouth, you got Danny Hurley 1, Mick Cronin 2.
2.
As far as guys that are just whacked.
Yes, whacked. He is.
It's
he doesn't care.
I don't know what your doctor prescribed as far as your lithium dosage, but you may want to up it. You know,
Get a little kick. Kick it up.
Both
kick it up crazy. A couple doses.
Danny Hurley, who you're talking to? I'm the best coach in Division I basketball.
Don't forget it.
Don't forget it. Oh my God. But yeah, Cronin's whacked out of his mouth. He just spews shit out of his mouth. They're minus 3.5 at home. I agree. I can't bet against Izzo. I can't bet, even though they lost to USC.
Yeah.
I would take Michigan State.
I think that's even the more motivation for them to do well tonight.
Yep. Tell you a game I kind of like here, Steve. Kansas State playing well right now, playing at Arizona State after Bobby Hurley's just. I like Arizona State money line here. I think they win.
Come back, and it's only 2.5. You can go money line. That's minus 150. You can lay the 2.5 for minus 108 on FanDuel. Both of them are decent value with a team that is looking for blood. Bobby Hurley wants blood. He wants to get some, get that team kick-started, getting back in the winning ways, because I think they're better at home. But,
they're good. It's a good team.
Yeah, but Kansas State's been covering.
They've been playing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing great. I think Arizona State can get enough going here to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Another big game, man. A big game. If you look at the Mountain West, you got arguably the best team in the Mountain West with New Mexico, Boise State, playing at UNLV, who's very good at home.
Mm-hmm.
Boise State -2.5 on the road. I would think they'd get it done here. UNLV's pretty solid, though, at home.
Yeah, you know what though? They're 5-8 against the number, but that might be more as favorites. I'm just trying to look at their previous. Yeah, I mean they've lost 4 out of their last 5, but they've covered 3 out of those 5. UNLV has. Boise's kind of similar. They've won 3 out of their last 5. And covered 3 out of their last 5.
Boise has that Spanish guard who I love watching that kid, man. He averages out 12, 13, doesn't turn the ball over, makes great passes. Boise can play with anyone.
Yeah, they beat. It looks like they beat Nevada by 10, and then beat Fresno State by 22.
Yeah, that was a blowout Saturday. Yep.
Yeah, both at home, and then they were coming off 2 road losses. To New Mexico State and Colorado State. So that could be a toss-up, Howie, West Coast there with those 2 teams. So myself, I'd probably stay away from it. Another game out west late is that Arizona-BYU.
BYU goes into University of Central Florida, biggest college in the country, on Saturday, and beats them. BYU's starting to play well.
Yeah.
Arizona coming off a big win. BYU.
Both of these teams are playing well. Won their last 4. Each won their last 4. Each covered their last 4. So that's going to be a tough game. I think that's probably why the line is tight, 2.5. Arizona going on the road.
I will take BYU all day long in Soaker country on a Tuesday night. Those kids aren't drinking.
Nope.
They're not banging.
Nope.
They're just focused on basketball.
Mormons, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the hell they do out there, but those Mormons will be jacked up to play.
They drink
Arizona.
holy water, Howie. Get ready for basketball games is what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do. Football too, man.
Yeah.
But BYU at home, I don't care who they're playing. I couldn't bet against BYU at home.
Gotta take them.
Yeah, I like them against Arizona. I'll use them, but this is a loaded slate, man.
Loaded.
I mean, I see myself tossing a few teasers, some parlays. It's going to be a wild night tonight. I may need a place to live tomorrow. But, look, if you're listening, you like what you hear, man, hit the like button. Follow How We Do It on YouTube. Join the Degenerate Gamblers, Whop.com. Steve and I will be putting out a ton of plays tonight and this week. I think we may go live, Steve. We may go live on here Friday.
Okay.
And get some people asking some questions. But, dude, I like this, man. I like this.
Hey, listen, this is just to start off a great week.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a crazy, crazy night. I'll be on the Discord all night just laying live bets. So
I'm with you.
Dude, let's bank.
All right, let's go.